itself, but 16 miles an hour on the freeway, ouch, that's just painful. Well, well, we don't. I can't give you all those answers right off the bat, but I told the desk basically to check in with us about 50, right, Angie? And then we'll have a more, right. And depending upon where we are, you know, I mean, right, yeah, probably Long Beach is probably going to be the closest if we're still on the 91. So, okay, cool. Morning, Erica. It might be. What? Well, we're on the 91 freeway. We're still westbound. It's going to be the Norwalk Downey area. You know, we've been watching this thing, and I was just thinking to myself, you know, the rental company Uhaul. I don't know if their guys are watching, going, look, you can drive this thing with flat tires. You know, why do you have to pull over and call us all the time? I'm just kind of playing with it. California Highway Patrol, though, they are not playing. They really are starting to talk about how they're going to handle this if and when this thing comes to an end. You know, traffic, or the movement of traffic, is one of their big concerns, oddly enough, and they are really backing up the Artesia Freeway this morning, especially the westbound lanes, as this vehicle moving in the teens. That tire, we've been watching it, and this is like the big drama right now. Is it going to come off the rim or not? It's basically just shredding itself right there. We have information that both the front tires are flat, but we can see that the passenger one definitely just kind of you know, you can see it right there, thumpy thump, and it just coming apart slowly as they're just continuing on. That truck really probably pushing itself. You know, we've been wondering if that driver is not been going faster because the truck could not go faster, or if it was just the driver being cautious, you know, in the long run. Right now, though, is he pushing that thing? Is he have his foot to the floor? How's it going in there? You just don't know. But those are the factors that are actually going to bring up part of this, what's going on down there. Looks like that tire finally just really, or another big piece of it just coming off. I didn't see it come out the back there, but now we're seeing less tire, more rim, and there he is. You know, and that tire stopped. I don't know if he's actually on the brakes or what's going on there, but that rim is actually stopped. So that wheel, or what's left of the tire, basically jammed itself in there, and that wheel is actually stopped. So now he's basically just skating along. Yep, yeah, just skating along down there. Yeah, and this could create a fire. This could create a fire underneath the vehicle, especially with that tire down there, and or this could go on for a while, and that rim could just be grinding itself down to the point where you're on the axle, and that's what's going to bring it to an end. So clearly the driver is pushing that vehicle the best they can, but that front wheel, the actual wheel itself, stopped right now, probably because the rubber has wedged itself in there somehow, because he's clearly not on the brakes. But, basically right now just skating along the 91. That's basically the way to talk about it. And we're going to definitely, look at that. The heat that's being generated right there, something's going to catch fire. There you go. Whatever it was broke free right now. And you even saw the driver, react to that. So the rubber, whatever was jamming it up, probably melted or broke up. And now we're rolling once again. But wow. This driver, now we're starting to learn that this driver really pushing it. It is not the vehicle that's giving up. It's the driver that's just continuing to push this vehicle this morning. Now he's down to the rim. We haven't seen any erratic driving, but clearly if he starts to try to turn, this thing is not going to turn well at all. And yes, of course, there's a little bit of fire down there on some of that fiberglass. Concern, something to watch, definitely. Is it going to bring this is that going to bring it to an end? Right now, I would say no, but we've been wrong in the past, and I'll probably be wrong in the future. But right now, we're just going to keep an eye on it. But wow, that things are really changing up, and you're really starting to learn more about the driver just by watching, being an observer. This guy's, he's pushing that truck, just basically biding his time, trying to stay away from getting those silver cuffs. And right now, is it dangerous? Well, if he starts to drive off the freeway or starts to try to maneuver that vehicle, we're going to see a lot different type of driving, especially if he tries to turn it. That truck is going to go straight well before it starts to turn. Well, Vinny is, he is a true professional, and I love having him on the camera. Pushing in right there, trying to get a look at the driver. Take a look at that little bit of fire down there on the actually by the rim. That might actually be something other than just the fiberglass. There's oils down there. There's brake fluid. That tire jamming up down there, it could have created a lot of damage. Could have ripped the brake line open, and now he's actually spewing a little bit of oil. And also, if it is a brake line that we're actually looking at that's burning, or that's the oil from the brakes, you got to think it doesn't work wheel to wheel to wheel. All the wheels work off of one reservoir, so he might be losing brake fluid. That's also going to add to this the drama. He won't be able to stop this thing. So you won't be able to turn, and you won't be able to stop, at least with the brakes. I'm sure there's other ways you can try to bring this thing to a stop, but that fire definitely not going out. I wouldn't have guessed that, but the little bit of fire down there definitely growing, and you just got to wonder what the fuel is that's keeping that fire going right there. And you can see it just kind of hanging out there on the backside of the rim. If it does stop, is that fire going to just basically catch fire to the wheel well? Is the fire, or is it just oil? But definitely parts of the tire still coming off there. A little bit of rubber now just fell off. So we're going to, the only thing I can say is we're watching. I'm really starting to wonder what's going on. And of course, we know this vehicle disabled, definitely disabled. It's definitely going to be much more difficult to control. And maybe that fire that we're seeing right there is actually the tire. What's left of the tire is burning. We know that we've seen it in the past. Tire fires, they burn for a long time. Once they get started, it's hard to put it out. But right now, those flames continue to get a little bit larger and larger, and I'm just really curious what it is that's burning. Yeah. Ford tough. Yeah. I think it's just a tire. Yeah, he's staying on the 91. $605 or $710. It's built Ford tough, Vinny. It'll be fine. Whoop. This. That's probably homeless then. Yeah. You know, the truck's going to catch fire now. I bet you it's going to start the plastic in the wheel well. Plastic. Well, they probably got a shot of the driver. I think the fire's better, though. Yep. If he doesn't get out quickly, that truck might catch fire. Yep. Probably smells. Bellflower, Clark, Lakewood. Come on, put that fire out before you stop. Maybe I would probably slow it down. Yeah. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, she's moving right now, but it. Where are they? Oh wow, they're way back there. They're right at the little bend. Yeah, there you go. This is what I wanted to see. This is it. There we go. Yep. It's catching the lines on fire. That's the oil. That's oil and stuff. This thing is going to burn. This thing is really going to catch fire here in a minute. Yep. All that smoke is plastics and oils that are burning. Yep. If he stops right now, he's got to get out of that cab right away. Yeah. You'd think that they'd build these trucks where, yeah, this is gonna go, guys. This is really gonna go. Yeah, we're getting too. Well, we're just watching, and you guys watched it live here as well. It's like that fire really started to pick up. Something changed in there. This is actually, you can see all that black smoke. That's going to be some sort of fed fire, meaning there's oils or something burning. That means something is cut loose underneath that truck, meaning an oil line or a brake line. We're moving Skyfox around a little bit. Those trees were blocking us in moments ago. But the deal is that fire is very well established. If this truck comes to a stop, that fire is not just going to be blowing back like that. It's actually going to start getting up underneath that engine. That suspect is going to need to get out of that truck almost immediately. He's continuing to push this thing. Also, everybody's been pointing out the gas tank is on that side as well. You kind of hope, and we all know, that the designers of these vehicles, they understand these things and they actually set things up so that it is safe, or as safe as can be. But this truck really starting to really kind of push it the best they can to keep going, and you just don't know why. Look at that smoke. This is what I'm talking about. As soon as he stops, he's got to get out of that cab. There you go, popping the door open and trying to run from this. You know, this is one of those things. You can run. We'll keep an eye on him. The truck is going to be a total loss. And, you know, he's actually right over the fence right there. He's got to know that he lost his shoes. Now, that's a shame. Anyways, grabbing his backpack, he's going to continue to try to run. Officers from the California Highway Patrol keeping an, oh, that must have hurt. And losing his pants and his shoes. At any rate, the officers, they might be a little bit slower on the jumping over the walls and stuff, but definitely making their way around to that to the area where he's running to now between the walls there. We're going to try to move Skyfox the best we can to keep an eye on that suspect. The truck itself, I'm pretty sure, almost fully involved in flame. I'm just wondering if any of the California Highway Patrol are going to be trying to put that fire out. Vinny, can we just go look at the truck since we can't see that suspect here for a minute or two? Just go a little bit wider. He's not that far away. Over to the left. There you go. Somewhere right in there where the smoke is. Just kind of push in to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. There we go. Anyways, that truck itself, I'm not sure where they parked it, but it's somewhere in that area right there. You know, must be fully involved in fire. But again, you just gotta wonder if maybe some of the California Highway Patrol made an effort to put it out. But apparently, they're chasing after that suspect right now. We're going to move around, and I can see the officers. If you go wide and to the left, fully involved. And you knew that was going to happen. That fire was really well established, and the flames were basically the movement of the vehicle was keeping that fire from getting up under that hood. And as soon as he stopped, all that fire just basically engulfed that engine area. Again, we know, everybody knows, there's a lot of oil, there's a lot of flammables, there's a lot of plastics involved right there. Officers on the top of the screen to the right, I'm listening to them right now. They're trying to coordinate. They've basically got a perimeter set up. I haven't heard the words in custody, but that's the apartment building where we last saw him running against basically against that wall right there. If you pan up just a little bit, and to the left, right there in the gap. I think he's right there in the corner. Push down. Just pan down just a little bit, Vinny. Pan down. Pan down. It's a motorcycle. All right. But yeah, so that was the area where we last saw him. But the officers definitely in the area right now, and basically setting up a perimeter. They haven't caught this guy as of yet. But you're just hoping that that guy's going to go into custody. That truck, a total loss. I'm not sure why the California Highway Patrol not working to put out that fire. A lot of them carry fire extinguishers. Okay, firefighters are just arriving, so they're going to handle the truck, and the law enforcement going to try to get that suspect into custody. Yep. No, that's an officer. That's an officer. That's definitely an officer. Yeah, that's. Yep. Right. There's a couple of spots. There's some tarps right there. If he's in this area, they'll probably take him into custody. He might actually be underneath a vehicle. This might be one of the ones where we see the canine come in there. But it almost kind of looked like one of the situations where this might have been, because we're listening to the Buena Park PD, and we're hearing them talk about, basically they're talking about this guy was asleep behind the wheel. So this might have been a crime of opportunity where maybe a homeless person took that vehicle and was basically maybe even living in it. They might have a suspect basically locked down in that area. I always watch these officers. They have a dangerous job. We watch those suspects fly over those walls, and now we have an officer climbing over a wall is probably the best way to do it. But again, we're just watching, and I couldn't even imagine doing that job that they're doing down there. Very dangerous indeed. But they're still trying to clear the area. They're getting information. I am here. It is very hectic down there. They're trying to locate where this guy is, but they basically know that he's in this one block area, so they are going to continue the search for him. Crazy. Yep. That's another officer. That's another officer. But they do have their weapons out. We're pretty sure that suspect not armed, but you can clearly see that this person willing to keep running. Yeah, and Vinny's just kind of inching his way down there. You have to understand it is very difficult to see. If he's in those bushes, we might not be able to see him, but the officers might have a better vantage point. And also, these guys are talking to other guys. They're not super familiar with law enforcement, talking to other law enforcement. They're not super familiar with these roads, so they're basically just shouting out directions to get the other officers to kind of just block this suspect in. But it's a hectic situation for sure, and they definitely want to take this guy into custody. It is an apartment building, and you just got to kind of wonder. I mean, how desperate is this person to maybe he might try to break into somebody's apartment or try to hide out. So right now, that's the fire or what's left of it. But yes, definitely. And we did, Vinny was pointing out that there were some people outside the apartment building, probably unaware of what exactly was going on, but definitely were, you just could read their body language that they wanted to get out of the area, probably seeing or hearing the lights and sirens of the officers arriving. And, that's one of the reasons why they have the lights and sirens, is kind of to warn the public about what's going on out here. I don't believe that is the suspect, but definitely has a backpack. So you just kind of got to wonder, maybe this person, is trying to be more clever than we think. But right now, not in custody as we understand it. They're bringing K9 in. Right? They got to know that he was going to jump out of the truck as soon as it stopped. Who's that? What's going on there? Up. Just follow him. Just follow him, Vinny. We are moving. Hold the perimeter. Unknown if it's him. Unknown. 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 Well, yeah, no. Well, we've been listening, and you know, I'm watching and listening. The officers are saying unknown suspect, unknown, but this person clearly fighting with the law enforcement, and possibly when we see this person stand up, we'll be able to kind of get an idea if that was the suspect. But whoever this person was definitely was fighting with the officers there for a moment or two to go into custody. That makes it very suspicious. Right now, you can see this guy just kind of in custody. If I had to guess, I would say it's close. I always kind of amazed that when you see somebody running and in that type of activity, and then you see them in custody, I'm always the first one to go, is that the guy? But at any rate, this person now in custody, but definitely was fighting with officers there just for a moment, actually deputies and California Highway Patrol. So definitely a suspect in custody right now after a very bizarre, long pursuit with that truck catching fire there at the end. But as soon as that truck stopped, that suspect was out and running, and now in custody. And again, this all coming to an end out here. I believe this is in the Bellflower area, but it was what a pursuit. Wow. You know, Aroxia, that could have been what was in the backpack. Remember, you brought it up too, and I was kind of curious what was so important in that backpack. Maybe it was a change of clothes. You know, yeah, and he had enough time, you know, when he got over that wall and we kind of lost him in the trees. He could have clearly changed clothes, and you saw him just kind of playing this nonchalant, walking across the parking lot, and then officers, you know, taking him into custody. The fact that he was fighting those officers, if you're just walking and these officers come running up, you're going to be like, oh, what's up, you know? But this guy clearly was resisting a little bit there, so it kind of leads you to believe that this is the suspect, and of course now complying. So it definitely seems that they did get the right guy. Yes. Well, definitely that suspect in cuffs, and basically you can kind of just read his body language. It's defeat, and we all knew that's where it was going to end. And thank goodness nobody was hurt, including that suspect. If he would have waited much longer inside that vehicle, that, you know, firefighters will tell you that smoke is what's deadly. You know, the fire is gonna hurt you, but the smoke might kill you long before that fire gets to you. And that was thick black smoke. So, you know, in the end, it ended the best way. That suspect in custody. Nobody was seriously hurt. Sadly, Uhaul lost one of their vehicles, but you know, this is pretty much the best outcome for this chase. And Skyfox needs fuel. let's take a peek if we can, and if we can see if they open the back of the truck up, because everybody's curious, and then we're going to have to go get fuel. And nothing. Oh no, it's got stuff in there. It does have stuff in there. I was going to say, I've got that t-shirt. Yeah, good point. Yep. Yep. Are we going? Oh, all of a sudden we're on. That's what happened. I'm hearing the director. Somebody double tapped their mic. I can hear you guys. I love these guys. Maybe I should be a director. Right. Are you hearing the directors? This is great. His pot's stuck open. Hey, could you tell the director or in the booth there, we're hearing them. It is really entertaining, but just tell him double tap it. His mic's open. Thank you. I don't know if that was Josh, but if it was, that was really cool. Nope, it's back. Yeah. Skyfox is going to go get fuel if it's okay.